from the pages of IHS Fan, the Austin area's premier high school football preview magazine. Welcome to Under the Lights, presented by ARS Rescue Rooter. And now, here are your hosts, Rick Epstein and Jeff Power.
Good evening, high school football fans. If you like Austin area high school football, this is your show. My name is Rick Epstein, publisher of IHS Fan, and my co-host each week is Jeff Power. We are here at the Bush's Chicken Lakeline location. If you can't make it out here, please visit one of the 4 area Bush's Chicken locations tonight, as from 5 o'clock to 10 p.m. tonight, 100% of all proceeds will be donated to Harvey Relief. That's 100% for 5 hours of dining from the great folks here at Bush's. And we'll be talking with Jonathan Scott, an area manager from Bush's, here in a minute. Tonight we have a great show planned. We will have our Taco Shack Coach Speak segment with the head coach of the Rouse Raiders, Josh Mann. He'll be here any minute. Ask the Doc segment presented by the Austin Regional Clinic with Dr. Driscoll, who will discuss the keys to successful rehab. And our Austin Gourmet Booster Club Spotlight will feature the McNeil Mavericks Football Booster Club. We'll have the schedule, predictions, and so much more. As always, please follow us on Twitter at IHS Fan. Jeff, what's going on tonight?
Hey, I'm excited. Hey, Josh Mann just walked in, and I got to talk to him about his ankle injury he had a few years ago. We'll bring that up because when I showed that bone sticking out of the side of the skin a couple years ago, I got in trouble for that. But hey, you're looking good tonight.
We'll get talking to Coach Mann here in a minute, but let's say a first thank you to our title sponsor, ARS Rescue Rooter. Each week we have the ARS Rescue Rooter Team of the Week, and by the way, this week's Team of the Week, the Rouse Raiders. Coach Josh Mann's Raider squad found themselves down 7 going into the fourth quarter against the high-octane offense of Westwood. Staring an 0-2 start right in the face, the Raiders came storming back to score 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, led by super soft running back Mylan Mitchell, who had his second straight 100-yard game. Mitchell rushed 32 times for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Raiders have one of the largest and best O-lines in the area. Congrats to the Rouse Raiders, as they are the ARS Rescue Rooter Team of the Week.
All right, Josh.
They had a great game, and we'll go to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Great Moments in Texas High School Football History. Jeff, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was 1994. John Tyler defeated Plano East 48-44. Yes, offensive shootout. This game inspired its own collectible DVD and appearance on the David Letterman Show for the radio team covering the game. I remember that well. Third-ranked John Tyler led this game 41-17 with 3 minutes remaining in this playoff classic. What happened next will be remembered forever. Plano East scored and recovered an onside kick to start the comeback. What's crazy is they did it 3 more times in the last 3 minutes, and next thing you know, they take the lead 44-41 with just 24 seconds left. However, when they kicked deep, Roderick Dunn took the kickoff to the house, and the Lions come back to win it. The miracle saved the Lions season. In fact, did you know they actually went on to win the state championship that year? Go figure. Be sure to catch the latest football news in the Lone Star State for high school, college, and recruiting at texasfootball.com. Subscribe today to become an insider and get 50% off. Only $19.95. You'll get the latest news, and our magazines will be shipped straight out to your mailbox every year. Stick with www.texasfootball.com throughout this football season for insight and analysis, as only Dave Campbell's Texas Football can provide.
That was our Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Great Moments in High School Football. Now we will go to our Ask a Doc segment presented by Austin Regional Clinic.
Ask a Doc is presented by Austin Regional Clinic, connecting patients to quality care in Central Texas every day, night, and weekend. ARC, primary care doctors, specialists, and medical teams at 22 locations help keep you connected with MyChart messages to your care team, online test results, online prescription refills, and easy online scheduling options. Our doctors and staff coordinate your care and help guide you through the medical maze. And when you are sick, you can see a doctor that same day or night. It's that easy. That's the advantage when you choose ARC, connected care for you and your family. We're here with Ask a Doc, presented by Austin Regional Clinic, with Dr. Driscoll, the chief of ARC Orthopedics. Welcome, Dr. Driscoll.
Pleasure to be here.
Dr. Driscoll, with regards to sports injuries recovery, what are the keys to successful rehab?
Well, two critical things come to mind as keys to a successful rehab. First, the athlete needs to believe they can do what it takes to get better. Fortunately, most athletes are highly motivated and disciplined, so this is rarely a problem. Second, it's important to have a plan, especially when recovering from surgery for serious sports injuries like ACL tears or shoulder dislocations. In my practice, we use carefully designed rehab protocols to guide athletes and often their physical therapists through the rehab process from start to finish. Protocols are available on our website for easy access throughout the recovery.
Wonderful. What is the most difficult part of rehab for student athletes, do you think?
Well, for students, it's certainly a challenge to stay on top of schoolwork while they're recovering from an injury, and that may keep them out of the classroom temporarily. But these kids usually love their sport and their team so much that they can't wait to return to play. And with some injuries, they feel better before it's safe to return to sports. So it can be really tough for them to be patient and wait until the time's right to return to their sport.
What are some things you could recommend that would help prevent a future similar injury?
I think it really depends on the injury. With ankle sprains, for example, good rehab and use of a lace-up ankle brace can lower the risk of future sprains in sports like basketball and volleyball. When it comes to athletes who experience an ACL tear, we know that they're at higher risk for tearing the ACL in the opposite knee or re-injuring the ACL that's been treated surgically. But fortunately, research shows that ACL prevention programs designed to improve strength, agility, and jump landing mechanics can reduce the risk of ACL injury in high-risk groups. Finally, in some situations, like the football player who's had several shoulder dislocations, an arthroscopic surgery may be the best way to prevent injuries in the future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Driscoll, for being part of our Ask a Doc segment presented by Austin Regional Clinic.
Thanks for having me.
Today's Ask a Doc is provided by the orthopedists at Austin Regional Clinic, offering a Saturday injury clinic every Saturday in the fall from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at MPT Orthopedics. Our orthopedists are experts in the muscles, bones, and joints of children and adults. We use surgical and non-surgical procedures to help return our patients to pain-free mobility and full strength as quickly and as painlessly as possible. ARC offers 6 orthopedic locations, including clinics in Austin, Round Rock, and Cedar Park. For easy access to the orthopedic care you need, visit arcorthopedics.com. That's the advantage when you choose ARC, connected care for you and your family.
That was Dr. Driscoll from the Austin Regional Clinic. Each week we'll have a different segment talking about different sports-related injuries and preventions. That was a great segment there, talking about rehab. Last Thursday, we were out at the Bowie High School to present our first Bush's Chicken Player of the Week. We presented it to Super Soft quarterback Trinidad Sanders. We also presented an English teacher and cheer coach, Amy Rogerman, with the Bush's Chicken Most Spirited Teacher Award. Always a great time when we go out to Bowie. And congrats to Bowie on their huge win over LBJ. For the unofficial AISD Super Bowl last week against LBJ. Right now, I want to bring on the area manager for Bush's Chicken, Jonathan Scott. Y'all have a great thing going on tonight. 100% of the proceeds from 5 to 10 p.m. going to the Harvey Relief. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. Well, thanks first for having me on tonight. We're doing the Hurricane Harvey Aid tonight, 5 to 10. All of our sales, 100% donated to the Rebuild Texas Fund. Just kind of a way for our customers and employees to come together and help out our fellow Texans in a time of need.
And so this is at all 4 locations. We're here at the Lakeline. Come on out. It's just a little after 7. We've got a lot going on till 8, but you can go to any Bush's Chicken tonight from 5 to 10. So pick up great chicken, and 100% of that money is going to Harvey Relief.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
You know, you've been with Bush's a while. Bush's plays such a big part in the school community, not just high school, but grade school, middle school, and high school. They do so much. Literally, the tea program alone, when you go out to a high school football game and buy Bush's tea, that is completely donated by Bush's. 100% of those funds are collected and kept by the booster clubs.
Yes.
That's amazing. I think Jeff Smith told us last month that over $200,000 last year was raised by just off tea sales. That's a lot of iced tea.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Jonathan, is there anything else you want to add for tonight?
No, I just want to tell everybody, to come out tonight. We're open until 10. Come out and just help us raise as much money as we can tonight.
Well, thanks so much. That was Jonathan Scott, area manager with Bush's Chicken. Like I said, we're out here until 8 o'clock, and I've got my sweet tea right here. Now let's talk a little bit about Austin Community College. What's your plan? What will you do after high school? Whether you want to earn a degree, get ahead with transfer classes, or train for a good job, Austin Community College is there to help. ACC's College Destination Center offers one-on-one advising to help you get your plans on track. It's never too early to start. Get personalized assistance with career exploration, financial aid, applying for college, and other questions, big or small. Contact ACC at austincc.edu/start now or call 512-223-7747. That's austincc.edu/start now. ACC, start here, get there. Well, we will now go through go over an outline of this week's games, and then we'll get into a review from the last from the predictions that we had last week. So let's talk a little bit about Thursday night's action. Leander's at Westwood, Lehman's at Aikens, Shoemaker at Cedar Ridge, Vandergrift goes to Killeen, Seguin at McCallum, and Smithville at Travis. Friday night, Bastrop at Cedar Park. 19-5A starts their district this week. Elgin at Cedar Creek. Hutto at Georgetown in a big one. Eastview at Rouse. LBJ at Anderson. Vista Ridge at Bowie. Westlake travels to the field to play Pflugerville. A&M Consolidated at Austin. Del Valley at McNeil. Dripping Springs at Hayes. Lanier at Eastside. Hendrickson at Manor. Dallas Jesuit takes on Lake Travis. Round Rock goes to Smithson Valley. Belton at Stony Point. Crockett at Marble Falls, Reagan at Tomball, San Marcos at New Braunfels, and Salado at Hyde Park. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about the game you predicted. Tell us about the Temple Round Rock game last week.
Well, I tell you what, Temple was impressive. In fact, they beat Round Rock 48-14. Who saw that coming? Temple, tell you what, you've got to be prepared for them. They like to sling it around. They've got a great offense and a good defense, obviously, as well. Round Rock had 6 punts and just 5 first downs. Think about that. They allowed Temple to race out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter, and they never looked back. The Wildcats, I could just see them in that blue going one way, white going the other, those pants they wear. It was 35-0 with 5 minutes remaining in the half. Now the Dragons know what they've got to work on. Round Rock's defense allowed 511 yards to Temple as 7 different Wildcats scored a touchdown. Of course, you think about some of these games early on for Round Rock. They lost to Clemens 26-17. They lost to Temple now 48-14. Their offense is kind of bogging down. Defense has had a tough time stopping some of these teams. It's not going to get easier this coming week. They've got to take on Smithson Valley over at Ranger Stadium. And Smithson Valley, we already saw them. They beat Hendrickson earlier this year in a tight game. So we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be tough for Round Rock.
Last week I predicted a low-scoring 17-10 victory by Cedar Park over Vandergrift. Well, it was at least 17-7 at halftime. I was a little off with the scores. The Timberwolves won 38-7. The stadium was packed. There were people standing 15, 20 deep in the walkways to the stands. What a fantastic atmosphere out at Monroe Stadium. To channel Mark Twain, the Black Rain defense demise were greatly exaggerated. After giving up a ton of points and yardage to Midway last week, the Black Rain clamped down and held the powerful Vandergrift team to just 9 first downs and 7 points. IHS fan top 10 senior quarterback Max Sexton was an impressive 32 for 37 for 345 yards and 3 TDs. That's 28 for 37. Vandergrift went into halftime trailing by 10, but could not find the end zone in the second half. Led by quarterback Justin Moore, who was 14 for 28 and 174 yards, the Viper offense was up against a great defense. The Vipers' defense was led by Oso Infesachukwu, held the Timberwolves to just 99 yards on the ground. Cedar Park starts district this week against Bastrop, and Vandergrift plays Killeen.
Good job on the Oso reference, by the way.
Yes.
Hey, Eastview whipped Waco University 38-13. In fact, Torrey Davis had 3 touchdowns rushing. In fact, a 39-yard run, a 29-yarder, and a 3-yard TD run. It was 17-6, Eastview at the half. They kind of blew it open in the second half. Davis, who had over 1,000 yards rushing last year, is ahead of that pace this year in 2017. Eastview has scored close to 80 points in 2 games, 76 points to be exact. And we're going to hear from Josh in a minute more about Eastview. Now, we told you about Eastview's loss, 48-36 to Hayes in a shootout. Well, Eastview can score some points with 5 returning starters on offense and 6 on defense. They will have a big game with Rouse this week. More on that in a moment. And they're going to have to stop that running game of the Raiders.
Absolutely. We predicted Bowie would beat LBJ 28-21. We predicted correctly and almost had the score exactly right as the Bulldogs defeated the Jags 24-10 in what many called the unofficial AISD Championship or AISD Super Bowl. These two powerhouses met for just the second time in over 20 years. The Bulldogs were led by running back Kyle Carter, who had 20 carries for 144 yards and 2 TDs. Last week's Bush's Chicken Player of the Week, super soft Trinidad Sanders, played well again, filling in for injured Matthew Wheeler. The story was all about the impressive Dog defense. The secondary may be the best in the state and is led by IHS fan top 10 player Josh Smythe McCauley, the hyphenated one. The Bowie defense held an explosive LBJ offense to just 39 yards of total offense in the second half. The electric neon Dion Collins had a pick 6 late in the first half that allowed the Jags to head into the locker room at the half tied at 10. That was a huge 14-point swing as Bowie was driving in and was poised to go up 17-3 before Collins took it to the house. Bowie travels to Vista Ridge this week, and LBJ plays the 8 o'clock second game of a doubleheader against Anderson.
How about the fact that we had a 25-5A team beating a 25-6A team this past week in McCallum defeating Lehman. Max Perez, 83 yards rushing, 70 yards passing. He's been electric. Andre Blakemore scored 4 touchdowns in that game, 400 yards and 5 TDs this season in that 35-10 win. He had 140 yards rushing on 34 carries, so he's been impressive to say the least. McCallum's 3-year head coach, Charles Taylor, has 10 starters back on offense and 7 on defense, and you know what, Rick? It is absolutely showing so far here in the early on for the Knights. They rolled over Lehman, which again is a 6A school. The Lobos were without their starting quarterback and their starting running back. That was Jacob Zamora. He was injured against Westwood, Zamora being the quarterback. Now McCallum's defense held Lehman to just 6 first downs. Prince Tyler is one of the leaders on defense. Lehman will try to snap an 18-game losing streak this week at home against Aikens. By the way, Prince Tyler, an IHS fan, Bush's Chicken top 10 team player, had 119 tackles last year, and he is headed in that direction again this year.
Absolutely. We predicted a McNeil Maverick victory 35-24 against Harker Heights, and it looked like we were going to make that one too, but we nailed the Maverick score, but we were off a little on Harker Heights as the Mavericks fell to the Knights 38-35. The Mavs dominated early as they headed into halftime up 28-14. They seemed to put it away, scoring with 7 minutes left in the fourth to take a 35-24 lead. The Knights scored twice in the last 7 minutes to win the game. McNeil was led by quarterback Zane Camphor, who was 18 for 28 and 231 yards with 3 TDs. 2 of those TDs went to the amazing Jordan Curley, who finished with 9 receptions and 122 yards and 2 TDs. Bruising running back Leo Degay had another great game as he finished with 28 carries for 114 yards and a TD. It doesn't get any easier for Coach Howard McMahon and Mav Nation as they play a tough 2-0 Del Valle team for their first home game out at Kelly Reeves. So those were our recap games of our predictions, and we were combined 4-2 in the predictions. We were each 2-1. When we come back, we will talk with the man who is the coach of the team of the week this week, Coach Josh Mann, who had a huge victory against Westwood, comeback victory. We'll be back. You're listening to 104.9 Under the Lights.
Just what exactly is the Craig Way Sports Report? Well, it's heard 4 times daily. It's an updated look at sports around the greater Austin and Central Texas area, including the University of Texas, Texas State, other area colleges, and other sports, featuring comments from players, coaches, and administrators, and my own personal take on the movings and shakings in the world of perspiring arts. The Craig Way Sports Report. Mornings at 6:30 and 8:30, afternoons at 3:30 and 6:30 on the Horn, 104.9, AM 1260, HornFM.com, and the Horn app.
Brought to you by Bud Light.
Hi, I'm Orlando Arriaga, owner of the Taco Shack. Start your day off right at Taco Shack with a breakfast taco or a low-carb breakfast bowl. And also visit our newest location in Cedar Park. Taco Shack, supporting area high school football for over 16 years. And we're really proud of the kids and the cheerleaders, band, and drill teams and all the teachers that have supported Taco Shack over the years. Enjoy the 2017 high school football season.
UT and Texas State are right down the road, but there's a shortcut that makes getting there more accessible and less expensive for thousands of Central Texans. Start a 4-year degree with a transfer plan at Austin Community College. ACC is the #1 college for transfers to UT and Texas State, and with tuition that's 80% less than other area colleges. It's a path to higher education that could save you serious money. Start planning today at austincc.edu. That's austincc.edu. ACC. Start here, get there.
Bush's Chicken is a proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs, with stores in Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown, North Austin, and South Austin, and coming soon to Pflugerville. Bush's serves the Texas standard in real hand-battered fried chicken and crispy tenders, tasty rolls, and that famous Bush's sweet tea. Bush's Chicken. It's good, good, good.
Earn your bachelor's degree from Colorado State University Global Campus. We're 100% online, so no matter where you are, you're already on campus. We offer 8-week accelerated courses and career-relevant programs with project-based learning. And with locked-in tuition rates, the ability to transfer up to 90 credits, and the potential to receive credit for previous work experience, there's no reason not to finish what you started.
Earn the degree you always wanted. Visit csuglobal.edu today.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want. You just don't know the price. Until now, announcing One Price Chevrolet certified pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation Chevrolet West Austin. Every Chevrolet certified pre-owned vehicle is marked with our lowest price. That means no negotiations, no pressure. Shop thousands of One Price Chevrolet certified pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com. Find new roads at AutoNation Chevrolet West Austin.
College football programs know the importance of recruiting. If they want to compete at the highest level, they need to bring on the best talent. People who have the skills and drive to be a success. The same is true in business. Recruiting is vital. And with ZipRecruiter, you'll have a smarter and simpler way to assemble your own winning team. With just one click, you can post your job to over 100 job boards. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology identifies relevant talent fast. 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within 24 hours. And your ZipRecruiter dashboard helps keep everything in one place, so it's easy to review and rank the candidates with the best experience. You'll be building a powerhouse program in no time. Choose the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter, official sponsor of Texas Athletics.
For your free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoLonghorns. ZipRecruiter.com/GoLonghorns. Once again, for a free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoLonghorns.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter. We'll unstop your train and keep you cooler. If your heat goes out, just give us a call. Have you warm and toasty in no time at all. If you want clean air that's fresh and cooler, ARS and Rescue Rooter. Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
Make sure your AC system keeps your home cool and comfortable with a call to ARS 777-7000. As Austin's #1 home services company, we have the expertise to keep your system in tip-top shape. Right now, AC service calls are free with repair. That's right, call today and the service call is free with repair. Don't let a broken down AC burn you up. Stay cool, save big with a free AC service call from ARS 777-7000 or visit ARS.com. License number TACLB 102680.
Yeah, we are back under the lights. 104.9 every Wednesday night. Rick Epstein along with Jeff Power. Please follow us on Twitter at IHSFan. Tweet us. Let us know how you like the show. This is one of my favorite parts of the show. We have the Taco Shack Coach Speak. We bring a different coach each week. We've had Coach Wood, Coach Smith, Coach Rosenthal, and now we have the Team of the Week, the only coach that the Rouse Raiders have ever known in his 10th year. Josh, Coach, welcome.
Thank y'all so much for having me tonight. I'm blessed to be here.
Wonderful. So you had a great game against Westwood. I was following it online, and wow, you had a great fourth quarter.
We did. We had a tremendous game. We were right there close. We could close the gap a few times in the first half, making it 14-7 right before half. And then, they come out 2 plays, score right out the gate, and extended it back. And, but we kept in there. Defense played tremendous all night, giving our offense opportunity. And we kind of finally saw our young guys come out of their mold and get used to being in the Friday Night Lights theme. And they really took off. I was real proud of our team and the chemistry they had throughout the game.
Well, you're in the District 19 5A, or as I like to call it, 9-team 5A,
yes.
Because you start district this week.
Oh, no.
You might be, and I've got to check this, but you might be the only coach in Texas who won 5 district games last year and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. When you play that many games and you're in the 9-team district, it's going to take 6. That's unbelievable to say that you got to win 6 district games, and that's just part of being in a big district, and it's week 3 and we're already starting district play. I wouldn't mind having another non-district game one more time to work out some kinks and get some guys, but it is what it is. We're all under the same gun. There's some big games in our district this week, and you really want to be that first team out to be 1-0. You don't want to be chasing anybody because every opportunity is a huge one in this district.
I want to name shout a little bit here. Aiden Sharp, 6'4", 310 pounds. I mean, you can run behind him all day. And I'm sure Milan Mitchell, who had 194 yards against Westwood, was glad to be running around him.
Absolutely. One's a sophomore, one's a junior. We have another junior that goes 300 plus. And, we have 2 seniors in Zach Pelt and Owen Kelly helping anchor that line. Now, we're big. We're real big up front. Our tight end's a big, strong kid. And that's our identity at Rouse. We love to pound the ball. We like to wear people down and hopefully play some good defense on the side to give ourselves time. And when you got a young man like Milam and then we got 2 others that come in, we rotate, and they're just as explosive. It's just Milam's had 2 big breakout games, and for a sophomore, he's a dude that can go. I'm proud of him, proud of Aiden.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a bigger offensive line in the area. I mean, those guys are huge.
Yeah, we're big. You don't want to see them coming to the buffet table. That's for sure. We win the odds on that bet.
So you've seen your team and your squad jump up and down from 5A to 6A. Most recently, you were aligned back into 5A. What do you first of all, how do you handle that? And then second of all, what do you anticipate is going to happen in February?
Well, I mean, it's tough to handle that, the up and down. But, in Central Texas, whether you play a 5A or a 6A team, and there's some 4As, if you don't come prepared, you're going to get out-coached, you're going to get outplayed. So, like we have 2 6A opponents. We opened up district with Manor and Westwood, and then when we were in 6A, we played a couple, Cedar Park, who was not 6A, and we know that group does. So, you can't blink in this area in Central Texas right now. Every coach and every program is doing such a good job. February is going to be interesting. I appreciate what the UIL has done. They allowed to release the numbers in November. You don't know who you're going to be playing, but you can kind of know in November now if you're going to be up or down. We're going through a tough time. We got opened the school, got it growing, and then we blow up to a 6A, and then they open another school in Leander with Glenn High School, and they're an upcoming program. Coach Rob Schofield does a great job there, and our numbers are down now. We're one of the smaller schools in Leander, I see. So it's like I'm opening a new school for the second time sometimes, but the people, the community in our area, it just makes you get up every day. With the support leadership we have in our administration, and from Coach Holman in our athletic office to our principal, with Christine Simpson to our superintendent, Dr. Trocto. I wouldn't raise my kids or be in a better place than I am now.
Hey, final question here. Yeah. Your ankle, how is it? Because it's been the 4-year anniversary is coming up here pretty soon. How did that happen? And just how's it feeling? You still got a little shake to it, or what?
It's still. It reminds me every day it gets cold that it's still not the same, and it's tough. Unfortunately, after a tough loss to Cedar Park, and was trying to get down and. Up there working on Saturday with the kids, and get on the gator to move around and go check on some facility things, and going a little probably too fast, lost control, fell off the thing and snapped my foot. Looked down and there's the old bone sticking out. That's not something you want to see on a Saturday after a loss at Cedar Park, but I'm blessed to have a tremendous wife, and I wake up out of surgery in the hospital, and she's got my iPad and my notebooks ready from the coaching staff, and worked on the game plan a little bit, took some drugs that night, got up and talked to the coaches via phone Sunday. I have a tremendous staff, so I was there on Monday at practice watching and sat in the press box for a couple games, but it's something I'll never forget. You see your own ball, and that's not supposed to be something that happens, but tremendous support from all the people around, and it reminds me it's there now. I'm compensating too much on the right leg, and it's bothering me now. My poor trainers, they bless when I had Daryl Onheiser and now Ben Stefka and Miranda Gafford's been with me, but I wear them out. I keep them busier than the kids in my office between hip surgery, ankle surgeries, you name it. I'm keeping them active.
Stay off the basketball court.
Yeah, I've played twice and hurt myself twice, and they like, Coach, stop. But the competitive guy can't refuse it. So
well, good luck this week against each of you. Coach Mann, it's a thank you for being coach on Coach Speak, presented by Taco Shack. Taco Shack wants to reward your school's administrative office. So if you can have one of your school administrators contact me this week, we will arrange for 100 free breakfast tacos courtesy of Taco Shack. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I know a bunch of them that I know. That'll just barely take care of the O-line, but no, there's be some great people. Appreciate what y'all are doing for high school sports. Thank y'all so much. Bush's Chicken, what y'all had them on earlier, and what they said. We don't function without Bush's Chicken and what they do for our boosters and ourselves. I really appreciate everything that's going on here.
Well, wonderful. That was Coach Josh Mann, who's now 1-1 headed into district. They got a big one against Eastview, and we'll talk about that. We'll be predicting some games later. That was Coach Josh Mann. Let's talk a little bit about Austin Community College. What is your plan? What will you do after high school? Whether you want to earn a degree, get ahead with transfer classes, or train for a good job, Austin Community College is there to help. ACC's College Destination Center offers one-on-one advising to help you get your plans on track. It's never too early to start. Get personalized assistance with career exploration, financial aid, applying for college, and other questions, big or small. Contact ACC at austincc.edu/startnow or call 512-223-7747. That's austincc.edu/startnow. ACC, start here, get there. So once again, we want to thank Coach Josh Mann. We've got such great coaches in the Austin area. I mean, we are booked all the way through our last week segment in December. And it's one great coach after another. Right now, we're going to go to the Austin Gourmet Popcorn Booster Club Spotlight. It has a special place in my heart because I was the Booster Club president of this high school for 2 years.
There you go.
The McNeil Mavericks. The Maverick Football Booster Club had a great summer of fundraising, and the team even had a surprise visit from former Mav and NFL player Aaron Williams. The Booster Club spearheads the annual Meet the Mavs night. Meet the Mavs, now in its 4th year, kicked off the season with a night of tremendous school spirit, celebrating all of the school's athletics teams, culminating in a gathering of of one of the largest student body drone shots. They get everyone in the middle of the field, get a drone overhead and take a picture. There were hundreds, the whole student body was there. The Booster Club works closely with Coach Mack and the staff to help provide financial help for much needed equipment. Austin Gourmet Popcorn wants to reward all of Mav Nation this week. So stop by the shop the next 7 days with your McNeil Spirit gear on and ask for your 10% discount. Austin Gourmet Popcorn is great. We go there weekly. It has tremendous popcorn, great candy, a lot of craft root beers. They're over there up on North 183 Anderson Arbor. Scott and his crew are tremendous. Go in there, get some popcorn, and if you're from McNeil, wear something McNeil and say, I want my 10% discount this week. Again, please follow us on Twitter at IHSFan. Let us know that you're listening. Coach Mann spoke about the 5A versus 6A teams, and I counted 7 games last week, Jeff, where local 5A teams beat local 6A teams, starting with Austin beating Aikens, Georgetown beat Hayes, Cedar Park, of course, beat Vandergrift, Temple over Round Rock, Rouse, Coach Mann's team beat Westwood, McAllen beat Lehman, and Dripping Springs beat Vista Ridge. there's really no difference between 5A and 6A
not in
football.
Central Texas, and some would say that those are some of the best teams right there. I mean, you take Lake Travis and Westlake, put them to the side, then you've got a lot of balance with 5A and 6A all the way across.
Absolutely. Coaches in the Austin area, what I've found is they're all so responsive. These guys have so much on their plates, but I gave Coach Mann a call a few days ago and say, "Do you want to be the guest?" And he hopped right on it. And he was here, and he loves to promote his team, and just as all the coaches do.
Yeah, I mean, great coaching staff over there at Rouse High School, one of the proud schools in Leander ISD, and what a growing area that is. I mean, Leander ISD, talked about Glenn coming on board. It seems like all those teams have their own stadium. Vandergrift's got Monroe Stadium, Vista Ridge and Cedar Park. They share Gupton Stadium. You got Rouse and Leander High over at AC Bible Stadium. Right. I mean, they make good use. I mean, if you flew over this area in a helicopter, you'd see nothing but stadiums.
Well, yeah.
Of course, Reeves Athletic Complex at Round Rock's right over here by Avery Ranch, very close by as well.
Well, on a Friday night when Reeves and Gupton are going, as a crow flies, they're about 2 miles away from each other. So, and those are two of the finest stadiums there are. So when we come back, we will have our world famous prediction segment where everybody loves hearing whether their team will win or lose. This is 104.9 The Horn, Under the Lights.
Tune in Saturday mornings at 9 for 0900 with Craig Flowers.
It's like wine. It matures with age.
Featuring the Texas Wine of the Week. Brought to you by Benchmark Business Solutions, the only platinum Xerox agency in the Austin area.
Bush's Chicken is a proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs, with stores in Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown, North Austin, and South Austin, and coming soon to Pflugerville. Bush's serves the Texas standard in real hand-battered fried chicken and crispy tenders, tasty rolls, and that famous Bush's sweet tea. Bush's Chicken. It's good, good, good.
Love your home but hate your stairs? Thought of selling? Stop. A residential elevator or a stair chair gives back full home freedom. Marshall Stevenson Elevators provided that renewed joy for nearly 4 decades to thousands all over Southwest Texas. With a quiet inclinator Company of America elevator or a safe U.S. manufactured stair chair, you'll be able to stay right in the home you love. To book a showroom test ride or get more info, contact Marshall Stevenson Elevator at 713-961-1940 or at msclev.com. msclev.com.
Hey, remember the mortgage meltdown of 2008? Have you tried to get a mortgage since then and been turned down? Or maybe you haven't even tried because your credit score is stuck at 585 or your tax returns have too many write-offs. Well, Cash Call Mortgage has great news for you. We've just introduced programs for people who've been told no. And what's doubly exciting is that we can solve your mortgage problems with no closing costs, no points, title, escrow, and no fees.
Wait. Cash Call, are you saying you now have credit and income-solving mortgages with no closing costs? Are you kidding?
You heard right. A credit or income-solving loan with no closing costs. Call 855-875-CASH, and we'll work with you to solve your mortgage issues. Make the cash call at 855-875-CASH.
First Mortgages, Impact Mortgage Corp., DBA Cash Call Mortgage, 1 City Boulevard, Orange, California, 92868, NMLS 128231. Equal housing lender, not licensed in all states, not available in Washington State. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing, terms, and restrictions.
That's 855-875-CASH.
Get a $5,000 engagement ring now for less than $85 a month. Yes, you can at Diamonds Direct with 5 years zero interest financing now for a limited time. Pick any item. Spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond stud earrings for only $50 a month? Don't miss this once-a-year opportunity. 5 years zero interest on any purchase at Diamonds Direct. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands. 5 years zero interest. Diamonds Direct at the Domain on approved credit.
When is popcorn more than just popcorn? When it's Austin Gourmet Popcorn. Conveniently located off Highway 183, Austin Gourmet Popcorn features more than 65 mouth-watering flavors of popcorn. But that's just the beginning. Austin Gourmet Popcorn is the best candy store north of Lady Bird Lake with over 400 kinds of bulk and packaged candy. Stop in and visit Austin Gourmet Popcorn at 13343 Highway 183 North, Suite 250, or visit them online at austingourmetpopcorn.com.
Yes, the Kinks. I love this song. It's Under the Lights on 104.9 The Horn. Rick Epstein along with Jeff Power. It's that time. Prediction segments. Let's do a little housekeeping, Jeff. Together, we are a combined 39-21, or 65%.
It's not bad.
For the
We can
year.
do better, though.
That's not bad. Your feature predictions for the season are 4-2 overall, as are mine. And we'll go down for each game, but we're going to start. Zach Lucero back at headquarters. Give us the slow-mo music, and let's start the predictions. Here we go. Get ready. Hutto at Georgetown, Friday night. Birkelback Stadium, Georgetown, Texas. District 19 5A starts with a behemoth matchup between two teams that will be among the 4 teams that make the playoffs. The Eagles and Hippos have played just 3 times in the past 20 seasons, with Georgetown winning all 3. The most recent game was a thriller in Hutto last year. Hutto lined up for an extra point at the end of regulation, only to have it miss. The game went into overtime, and the Eagles kicked a field goal to win the game 35-32. Both teams come into this week's game undefeated at 2-0. Georgetown is led by quarterback Cooper Bell, who has thrown for 697 yards and 9 touchdowns through 2 games and has not thrown an interception. His number 1 target, IHS fan top 10 player Caden Leggett, who already has 350 yards receiving and 5 TDs, and SportsCenter's player of the day last Thursday night with his eye-popping one-handed reception.
Thank you, Nick Walters.
Defense, yes, Nick Walters. The defense is led by Brendan Hawkins and Kyle Urbanowski, who combined already for 48 tackles. The Hippos are led by IHS fan top 10 player junior quarterback Chase Griffin. Griffin has 504 yards passing and 6 TDs with just 1 INT. Coach Steve Van Meter has to be thrilled as the Hippos are loaded on offense with Hendrickson transfer Chooks Nuboko and wide receiver Caleb Forrest leading the way. The Hippo team has outscored their opponents 99-21 in their first 2 games. I look for a high-scoring game that comes down to the wire. Hutto finally gets the win over Georgetown, 41-35.
The Hippos are celebrating. All right, the 1-1 Hendrickson Hawks will go to Manor. Manor is 2-0, and I think Manor might be one of the toughest teams in Central Texas. They look really good so far this year. Chip Killian, he's the head coach over at Hendrickson, says the opening loss to Smithson Valley was tough. He watched as Levi Williams connected with Ricky Rios with 8 seconds left as the Rangers of Smithson Valley beat the Hawks 24-20. But Hendrickson bounced back with a nice win over a really good Belton team, 20-17. The Fighting Samaje Pirines will be tested against Manor, and the Mustangs ground game led by Ty Brooks, who as only a sophomore has 36 carries, 383 yards rushing on a team averaging 340 yards on the ground in each game so far this season. Derek Claiborne is also a nice mix, rushing for 126 yards on 16 carries to go with a pair of catches for 91 yards. Quarterback Courtney Patridge is 21 of 38 for 357 yards passing and 4 TDs in 2 games to go with just 1 interception. He can also carry the rock, rushing for 129 yards on 26 carries. So some big numbers for Manor. Keep in mind, Manor beat Josh Mann's Rouse Raiders early this year, 42-13. They beat Bastrop 59-26. The Mustangs have had 7 rushing touchdowns against the Bears. I think the key, Hendrickson's got a good ground game, but they're going to have to pass the ball. Blaine Barker to Jalen Taylor could be key. The Hawks did overcome a 14-0 deficit to win 20-17 last week over Belton. Hendrickson has a stable of runners. How about Dana Jackson, Adam Cousins, Timion Jackson? But if Barker can spread the ball around, watch out. He has completed 22 of 41 passes for 262 yards and 119 yards rushing. But Manor's going to win this one. It's a high-scoring affair, 38-35 at home over there on Highway 290.
Zach Lucero, I cannot do my predictions without music. Hit it, please. Come on now.
There it is. I hear the cymbals.
There we go. Leander at Westwood. In the past 10 years, Westwood and Leander have played 6 times. All 6 times, the Lions have been victorious, including last year's nail-biter, where Leander had to score 14 unanswered fourth-quarter points to defeat Coach Anthony Wood's Warrior team 28-24 at Bible Stadium. Tomorrow's game is at Dragon Stadium, where the Warriors rarely are the home team. Last week, Westwood allowed Rouse to score 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter in their Week 2 loss. The Warriors are led by senior quarterback Will Jennings, who is off to a fantastic start throwing 37 completions and 656 yards with 7 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. His number one target is talented senior wide receiver Cam Thomas, who already has 18 receptions and 466 yards.
He's in slow motion right now.
With 5 TDs. IHS fan top 10 player, running back Jakeem Murphy, was injured against Rouse last week, but he's averaging an unbelievable 16.8 yards per carry. The Warriors are led on defense by senior Reese Green, by safety Reese Green, who has 18 tackles. Coach Tim Smith's Leander squad went into halftime against Pflugerville up 10-6. The second half was a different story, as the Lions were outscored 24-3 in the second half. Quarterback Rashad Carter was injured and left the game in the third quarter. Sophomore Will Loof took the reins of the Lions offense and will likely be the guy for a few more weeks. Leander is led on defense by senior Alex Hensley, who already has 23 tackles. The Lions are winless and searching for a win before they start play in the brutal District 25 6A. The Warriors' offense will be too much for Leander as I look for Westwood to win 38-24.
All right, the 1-1 Vista Ridge Rangers, just down the road from here at Bush's Chicken, face the 2-0 Bowie Bulldogs. I tell you, Jeff Abels has got a good team over there at Bowie this year. They look really sharp. Both teams can run the football. The Rangers had 246 yards rushing on 39 carries against Dripping Springs, but they lost that game 47-21. In fact, a lot of those yards rushing came late in the game when they were down pretty big. Joe Goodwin, though, has 151 yards on 21 carries. Jameel Pittman has 137 yards on 12 carries. Plus, he's that receiver, kind of runs out that slot, 5 catches for 93 yards receiving. Now, the Bush's Chicken IHS fan top 10 team player in Pittman had a pair of TDs against Dripping Springs. He's kind of an all-around guy, sort of a hybrid. You can see him in a lot of different offensive plays. Now, the problem for Vista Ridge has been their defense. They let an average San Antonio Southwest team run the ball pretty well against them in the Rangers' 20-14 opening season victory over the Dragons. That was down at UIW down in San Antonio over at Benson Stadium. Some would say not an impressive win, but a win nonetheless for Vista Ridge. But that's a game VR should have won by plenty. They did win, though. But quarterback Jacob Towdy, he's 12 of 29 for 224 yards with a TD and a pick. Those are pretty good numbers. But Bowie will probably load the box and try to force the Rangers to pass. Bowie's defense only allowed a field goal to LBJ in a 24-10 victory over the Jaguars. Now, before you say, hey, wait, Jeff, that doesn't add up. It was a pick six. That's the only touchdown that LBJ had. And, in fact, Coach Jeff Abels told me today he'll blame that on himself and not his offensive coordinator, Ty Brennan, as they were kind of moving the ball through the air. Coach Abels says he loves the team chemistry on his Bowie Bulldog squad. 21 returning lettermen who are used to each other. Joshua Smith-McCauley anchors that tough dog defense. He's another IHS fan top 10 team player presented by Bush's Chicken. Statistical leaders for Bowie include quarterback Trinidad Sanders, 202 yards passing to go with 34 yards rushing, while running back Kyle Carter carries the ball mostly for Bowie, 140 yards and 2 TDs. He learned a lot behind Dalen Threadgill last year. Now, the Pittman twins, including Darren as the defensive coordinator and Pops, will have the dogs ready on defense. They'll run behind Coach Brandon Pittman's offensive line and control the line of scrimmage. Bowie beats Vista Ridge with balance, 34-14.
All right. Now we'll go into two old familiar foes. LBJ and Anderson both opened in the early 1970s and used to play every year. In 2003, realignment caused both teams to not play each other until last year's 48-30 Jag win. The old rivals will play the second game of a Friday night Nelson Field doubleheader. Game starts at 8 p.m. LBJ enters the game 1-1 after losing a bruising game last Friday against Bowie in what many dubbed the AISD Super Bowl. As one of the smallest 5A teams in the area, the Jags boast one of Austin's best players in Neon Dion Collins, a defensive back who has electrifying speed and had the late first half 75-yard pick six against Bowie. The Trojans have opened 2017 with 2 losses against McCallum and Smithson Valley. Last Friday, Coach Jeff Rhodes and his squad ran into a buzzsaw in Smithson Valley as they lost 56-0. The Trojans are led offensively by quarterback Davis Adams, who has passed for 347 yards, and running back Coy Fulmer. Defensively, the Trojans are led by Junior Nathaniel Velez, who leads the team with 18 tackles. The Jags look to shake off their loss against Bowie and will win this game at Nelson Field. LBJ 42, Anderson 24.
Westlake is traveling to the Field. Have you been to the Field yet?
Yes, I have.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
P-F-I-E-L-D. Don't try to Google it. Don't ask Siri for a spell check on that either, because she's going to mess it up. But the 2-0 Westlake Chaparrals, led by head coach Todd Dodge, might be the best team in the Austin area. Nakia Watson is another Bush's Chicken top 10 player. He had 4 explosive TD runs against Niceville. Nothing nice about that as far as if you're a Niceville, Florida player. Of course, they had to come into town, and they were getting out of town right before a hurricane on top of that, so I kind of feel for those guys. Now, Watson had 1,648 yards rushing last year. He can pass protect. He can catch the ball out of the backfield from an accurate quarterback in Taylor Anderson, who had a couple of touchdown runs against Niceville. In fact, he threw a TD pass. He even caught a touchdown pass, Rick. Now, defensively, the Chaps knocked 2 Niceville quarterbacks out of the game and forced several turnovers. You know, this time last year, Westlake came into this game against Pflugerville without quarterback Sam Ellinger, who is now starting at the University of Texas, of course. Remember, he got hurt against Katy and didn't return until the game against Hayes High School, then had the thumb injury against Lake Travis. He was just kind of nicked up all year. Well, during that time away, Westlake became more well-balanced. In fact, against College Station in Week 1, it was a fairly close game. Westlake ran the ball 31 times. They passed it for 29 times. Their run-pass option is hard to stop. Now, Pflugerville, by the way, they've got some playmakers. They always do. In fact, George Herman is in his 21st year as head coach of the Panthers. He'll play his strengths and usually can expose weaknesses in the opponents, but not this week because Westlake doesn't have any weaknesses. All right, Pflugerville quarterback Damon Temez, he's accurate. The Panthers will need to keep the game close. Keep in mind, Pflugerville has adopted more of a spread offense, unlike that wing T Herman was running a few years ago. The talent in Pflugerville ISD is divided with Hendrickson, Connolly, and now Weiss High School. Westlake wins big.
Yeah, I look for Nakia Watson to have a big game. So
he's the real deal.
Those are our featured prediction we have, and we'll now go over a few of the games just in quick order. As we said, we think Westwood's going to beat Leander. We think Aikens is going to beat Lehman. Cedar Ridge is going to beat Shoemaker. Vandergrift is going to get their first win of the season. They'll beat Killeen. McCallum will beat Seguin, and Travis will beat Smithville. On Friday night, Cedar Park will beat Bastrop in the first game of 19-5A. Elgin will beat Cedar Creek. We have Hutto beating Georgetown. Eastview will beat Rouse. Sorry to Coach Josh Mann, who was just here.
He's gone.
He's gone now.
He knew it was coming up.
LBJ would beat Anderson. Bowie will beat Vista Ridge. Westlake will beat Pflugerville. Austin High will beat A&M Consolidated. We have McNeil over Del Valley to give Del Valley their first loss. Hayes will beat Dripping Springs. Lanier over Eastside. Manor over Hendrickson. Lake Travis, we think, will beat the team from Dallas, Jesuit. Round Rock will get their first win out at Smithson Valley. Stony Point over Belton. Crockett will beat Marble Falls. Reagan over Tomball. San Marcos over New Braunfels. And Hyde Park will beat Salado. Those are the predictions this week. We'll see how we do. Lots to talk about. This is another great game. A lot of teams are starting district this week in 19-5A. Mm-hmm. Some will wait a few more weeks. 9 teams in that district.
I really like Hutto at Georgetown. That's a heck of a matchup over at Birkelback. If you're looking for a good game to go check out, go over there. Beautiful stadium. Hutto's loaded. They've got a lot of great players on that team, including a star right here on the IHS Fan Under the Lights magazine, which, of course, is written by Rick Epstein.
Yeah,
great job, Rick.
We'll get a lot of help with it. Yeah, we've got two players are featured in that game. Chase Griffin, of course, and Caden Leggett. Mm-hmm. I was out there last week on Thursday night. Caden Leggett made the one-handed grab to tie the game at Birkelbach against Hayes, and it made
national
the
exposure,
ESPN
right?
play of the night that night.
Yeah.
It was sent in by our good friend Nick Walters, who sent it into ESPN. Within 20 minutes, it was the play of the night. So Coach Jason Dean will have his team. It was a tough one to pick. It could go either way, just like last year's game went down to the final minute. I love Georgetown. There's so many great atmospheres. I was at Monroe Stadium, Vandergrift. It was packed.
It was,
People were standing 5 deep. The only bad thing about Monroe Stadium is trying to get out of the parking lot after the game. They got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But Coach Sanders was great. It has been a whirlwind. This is our 4th show, Jeff. We'll be back for week 5. I'm going to be headed out to Los Angeles, Hollywood,
USC, Texas. There you go.
I heard USC has the 109th ranked rushing defense, so maybe that's big news for Chris Warren and the Horns. But
too bad Texas passes all the time.
Too bad. So maybe who knows who will start? Because last year Sam Ehlinger was on the cover of our magazine. This has been Under the Lights. This is our 4th show. We'll be back next week, back in the studio. For Jeff Power, this is Rick Epstein. We'll see you next week under the lights.